Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve uh, interview problem based on function. Okay, Python problem. Okay, so we already complete list, tuple, sets, dictionary and string. Okay, so if you want to clear or if you want to clear interview or if you want to clear any exam related to the coding, okay, then you can go and watch my playlist, uh, which has all, I mean, 100 interview question based on every like data types: list, tuple, sets, decorator, generator, okay, functions, lambda, and map function, reduce function, okay, and filter. So I already solved these things, and you watch my playlist. Okay, so first of all, what is the function? You need to know what is the function. What is the function? Okay, so in Python, function is name of block of reusable code designed to perform specific task. Function promote code organization, reusability and modularity. Okay, so don't repeat yourself. Okay, so function are defined using def keyword. Actually, I already explained everything, what is the function and how many type of function we have. So if you don't have any idea, then go and watch my YouTube playlist. Okay, so function, just a function, like function is a name. In Python, function is a named block of reusable code designed to perform a specific task. Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen with you. So here, this is my notebook. First question is, we are going to find out Armstrong number. Okay, so what is the Armstrong number? Okay, like we have n equals to 153. I'm going to find out that it is Armstrong or not. Okay, so here how do we can check that this is our Armstrong number. Okay, so we can check it by using, like, we need to take d equals to 1, then we need to like cube. I need to put 1 to the power 3. Okay, plus I need to put 5 and 5 to the power 3, plus 3 to the power 3. Then we need to calculate everything and add. If we find out same value, okay, then we can say it is Armstrong number. Okay, after here you can see I have d equals to 1. Okay, and 1 power is 1. Okay, and here you can see d equals to 5 and 5 to the power 3. So I got 5 to the power 3 is equals to 123. Or here d equals to 3 and cube of 3 is equals to 27. After calculating its sum, it will become 5153. Okay, so this is called a Armstrong number. Okay, n equals to 153 and our output is also 153. Okay, so total equals to, this is our total of, after adding cube of every number. So this is our total. So total is equals to n equals to 14153. Okay, so this is true and final result also true. Okay, so here n equals to 153 function we are going to call function after taking this. And here s equals to string n, convert number to the string. Okay, then we need to check its length. So how many digits are present here? So it has 1 2 3, I mean, length three length of this, we have 3. Okay, power equals to length of s. So we can, like, we have, if we have number, like 4 number here, 1 5 3 and 4. Okay, so then we can write, we can use power 4. Like, we need to calculate 1 power 4, 5 power 4 and 3 power 4. Okay, and 4 power 4 if we have 4 number. Okay, so here we are going to calculate power. Power equals to length of s. Length of s is equals to 3. Okay, because we have 3 element inside the n. Okay, so here I'm going to write code. DF is Armstrong. Inside this I have n and double I mean colon. As equals to I need to convert string into, sorry, I need to convert digit into a sorry, string. Oh, in string. Now I need to calculate power that we can give the number. So I'm going to calculate power here. So power equals to length of n. Okay, if it is have has length 2, then we need to apply power of element, that is 2. 1 power 2, 2 to the power 2, like this. Okay, and here I'm going to calculate total equals to sum of every element. Okay, every element that should be an integer power of element. Okay, here I'm going to use power 4d d in s. Okay, and here I'm going to return total equals to, so here this is for dry run. I'm going to explain everything. Wait a minute. This is Armstrong. I'm going to display result by using print Armstrong. Here I have n equals to 1 to 153. Okay, so this is the function calling is Armstrong, n equals to 153. Okay, so here I have n equals to 153. This is function called 153. I'm going to convert this s equals to string into a, sorry, this n into a string. Okay, so it will become, convert number into a string like this. So here it will become in double quotes 153. Okay, now I'm going to calculate its length. So here you can count 1, 2, 3. We have 3 digits, so its length is 3. Okay, so this is power. Okay, power equals to length of 3 means we need to use power 3 for every element. Okay, now I am going to calculate sum, total. Okay, so here integer of number. Okay, d, and I am going to like this. Okay, so d equals to 1. First of all, I need to take d for d in s. Okay, so inside this s equals to 153. Okay, for d inside this s, so d equals to, I'm going to take 1. Okay, then we are going to find out 1 to the power equals to 3. Okay, so like this. Okay, so we got 1 to the power 3, and here we are going to use sum. Its mean, it will give you like this, 1 to power 1 to the power. Okay, I'm going to use what, 1 to the power 3 plus a second d equals to 5. This is the second element. We are going to take d equals to 5 from here. So 5 to the power also 3, and here after this I have last element d equals to 3. So d equals to 3, I got, I'm finding out its power. So it will become, after this power of each element, we need to calculate sum. So it will become 153. Okay, now I am going to check this total equals to 153 is equals to n. So here I am going to write 153, that is equals to n, because n equals to 153. Okay, so here this is a strong number. Okay, I am going to run this. Okay, I got error. Integer has no length. 1 minute. I am going to find out. Integer has no length. Well, I convert. I convert integer has no length, but I convert it into a string s equals to str. Okay, that is 153. Power equals to length of s. Oh, sorry, I did mistake here. Okay, so length of s. Okay, because this is the string. Length of s after converting it into a string. Okay, so we need to pass s here, not n. Okay, because not is no, not sorry, because n is in integer. N equals to 153. After converting into a string, it will give you length. Okay, so here I got true that this 153 is Armstrong. Okay, now we are going to find out arguments and keyword arguments. Okay, so here I need to define one function. Define demo underscore. Okay, I need to copy this function here. I don't want to rewrite it again. Actually, I already have. Demo underscore args underscore kwrs. KWARS. Okay, so ARGS means argument and KWRGS means keyword argument. Okay, so here I'm going to pass argument with value ARGS. Okay, so this will give you argument like this one, 1 2 3, simple. It has only value 1 2 3, and I'm just going to pass here by using double asterisk. Means it will give you keyword argument. Means it will give you KWARGS. It will give you what? Key and values like this. Key and values. Keyword arguments means it will give you key and values. Okay. Here I am using code double क्या बोलते हैं इनको यार, colon. Okay. Now I am going to return. I am going to return both of these ARGS and keyword arguments. Oh, I need to use comma here and here. Okay, now I am going to print, and I need to copy this whole thing from here. Okay, and I'm going to pass here. Okay, okay, so this is the function name, and here these are the arguments 1 2 3. Okay, and these are the keyword argument which has key and values. Okay, and here I'm going to return both arguments comma keyword arguments. Then I'm going to run. So I got this. These are the arguments and these are the keyword argument with the key and values in second dictionary. This is the dictionary. Okay, so I got. So here first of all, this is the function name demo underscore argument underscore keyword argument. Okay, here these are the argument 1 2 3, this one. Okay, and name equals to a, age equals to 20. Okay, these are the keyword argument. Okay, three positional argument and two keyword argument. Okay, this is called a positional argument or this is called a keyword argument. Okay, so argument collect the position argument. Okay, by using this we collect the 1 2 3. Okay, and here by using keyword argument it will collect the keywords. This one, key and value. Okay, here you can see here key and value. And after return arguments and keyword argument, here arguments and keyword argument, you got this output, final output. Okay, I hope you got it. Now I'm not going to rewrite this again. Okay, I already have this code. So closer, remember previous value. Okay, So here you can see, here I already mentioned lines from 1 to 7, class counter, class is defined and c equals to counter. Okay, so here we are going to use two function, that is init, this is the constructor, okay, and this is the second function, this is for call the function. Okay, so here you can see c equals to counter, this is the object of this class. Okay, here this is the input. Okay, x equals to 5 and x equals to 3. Okay, so here self dot, initially we have self dot total equals to 0. Okay, so we are going to check with first input, that is c, this one, 5, s equals to 5. Okay, so here c5, I'm going to call this function x equals to 5, I have here call 5. So I have s equals to 5. Okay, now we are going to calculate its total. So before we have total equals to 0, so it will become 0 plus 5, it will become 5. Okay, then it will return self, total self is equals to 5. Okay, so it's a total self dot total is equals to 5. Now again I'm going to check with this input, that is x equals to 3. Okay, so here I'm going to take x equals to 3. Okay, so total will update here. Okay, so now total will become what? Previously we have total equals to 0, now it will become 5 after taking 5. Now again it will call the function, this function. Okay, so here x equals to 3. Okay, and here now I have, previously I have total equals to 5. Okay, now I am going to add 3 here, total will become add 8. Okay, now we need to update here our total, that is 8. Okay, so add will print here, this is our output. I hope you got it, 5 and 8. Okay, now we are going to use email validation. Okay, so this is the function name, function call, this one is email, and this is the email address. Now I'm going to check this email is valid or not. Okay, so here I'm going to check if at the rate not in s means this string, I mean this total send, you can say this email. Okay, this is the s. So I'm going to check this, this at the rate is not in s or dot not in s. Okay, then it will return false. Okay, because email should contain at the rate and dot. Without at the rate or dot, we can't say this is email. Okay, so here in first step I have created one variable at here we are going to check that at the rate is present inside this s. Okay, so we are going to check here. So at, this is the new variable, at equals to s dot index. Okay, so here s equals to this, so I'm going to check s dot its index, at which index I have this at the rate. Okay, so we are going to count. At index 0 we have 1, sorry, we have a. At index 1 we have b. At index c, sorry, at index 2 we have c. And at index 4, sorry, you need to count from 0. So at index 0 I have a. At index 1 we have b. At index 2 we have c. At index 3 we have at the rate. Okay, so we are find out its index. So at index 3 we have at the rate. Okay, now we are going to find out at which index we have here dot equals to s dot r index. Okay, so we are going to find out at which index we have dot. Okay, so we have dot here, so you can count its index from 0 to here. So you can find out at index a we have dot. Okay, now we can check here at this at the rate is greater than 0. Yes, it's like it has 3 index. Okay, and we are going to check here dot. So dot is greater than, this dot is greater than 8 plus 1. So 8 plus 1 means 3 plus 3 plus 1, it will become 4. Okay, so we are going to check this condition here. So you can see here, find the index at the rate at 3 index. We are going to, we already found dot at index at. Okay, now we are going to check at is greater than 0. Yes, okay, because we have at the rate at index 3, so 3 is greater than 0, so this condition is true, this one. Okay, now I'm going to check another condition, that is dot 8 dot is greater than 8 plus 1. Okay, so dot present at index 8. Okay, this is greater than 8. 8 is 3 and plus 1, it will become 4. Okay, so this condition is also true. Here you can see, and we are going to check this condition also. Okay, so dot is less than length of s minus 1. Okay, so dot at index 8, so 8 is less than length of s is, if you count out the length, so it will be 11, sorry, it will be 10. Okay, so here 10 minus 1, sorry, it will be 12, so 12 minus 1. Okay, so 8 is less than 11, 12 minus 1 is 11, so it will be true. Okay, so our all condition is true, then we can say this is email address. Okay, okay, here you can see dot is greater than 0 because we sorry, at the rate is greater than 0 because we can't add at the rate in starting of email address. Okay, and dot should be greater than at the rate plus 1, because because you can see here we need to use at the rate before the dot. Okay, okay, so we are find out every condition that is true, and if I'm going to run this, so it will say this is true, this is correct email address. Okay, so here I'm going to find out factorial without recursion. Okay, so wait a minute. Here I'm going to define one function def factorial. Okay, here I'm going to pass n. I'm going to find out factorial of n. Res response, res equals to 1, this is the variable. Okay, I'm going to use for loop for I in range from 1 to n plus 1 colon res is multiply with I. Res equals to res into I, not 1. Okay, this is I, and here I'm going to return res, and here I'm going to print factorial of 5. So I got, I did a spelling mistake. Okay, this here it should be, so I got 125. Okay, so here I have 5, n equals to I have 5. Okay, this is the input, and here this is for function calling. Okay, so res equals to 1. Initially I have one variable, that is res equals to 1. Okay, so I am going to take value one by one for I in the range of, from, okay, here I'm going to write I equals to from I in the range of 1, 1 comma n plus 1, so n equals to 5, so it will run n plus 1 is 6. Okay, so I value will iterate from I equals to 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma, oh, 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so I, we are going to increase I by from 0 to 5. Okay, okay, then here res equals to 1. Okay, in this condition I have res equals to 1, so we need to write like this. Previously I have res equals to 1, so here I'm going to take again 0 into 1, it will become 0. Res equals to sorry, I have 1. Oh, here also I have I value from 1 start 1, not 0. Okay, so I need to remove 0. Okay, so before we have I equals to res equals to 1, so 1, again I'm going to multiply with I. This condition like this, 1 into 1, I got 1. Okay, again you can check, now I have I equals to 1, now you can take I equals to 2, so 2 into 1, and okay, and you need to store here, and you got Uh, you need to multiply every time here by using I and res, okay, and you need to return like this, and you got output 120, okay. Here I'm going to find out in next example frequency without counter. Okay, so first of all I need to create one variable df equals to freq, frequency of LST. I have one list. I'm going to find out its frequency, okay. Print, and I'm going to call function freq. Inside this I have one list, that is 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3 comma 3, okay. This is the function name, function calling. Here this is the list LST, okay. Now I am going to write code. I'm going to create empty dictionary that we can store its value and key and values, okay. And here I'm going to use for loop for x in list, okay. For x in list I am going to take x equals to 1, this one. Initially I am going to take x equals to 1 from here. Then I need to use this formula dx equals to d dot get here x comma 0 plus 1, okay. So here we can see I have x equals to 1, okay. Here now we can check in this d. Previously I have any x? No, we don't have any x here, okay. So we can count dx like this. So here I got d dot get, okay. So before this line, we get any x inside this d? No, okay. So this value is 0, and we have, after this we need to add plus 1, so its frequency will become 1. Now we have 1x here, okay, in dictionary like this. X count is 1, okay. Sorry, x equals to 1, so 1 will become 1, okay. You can see here I have x equals to 1. Before we have empty dictionary, after adding this one it will become like this, okay. Now I am going to take x equals to 2, okay. Here x equals to 2, again I am going to count its frequency, but any, is there any 2%? No. So here again this d dot get any 2 get here? No. This is for value x equals to 2, and this is for its key. If it is like, if it is any, if we don't have any 2, then it will return 0 here, okay. This is for value. So here I got 0 because we don't have any element, any element that is 2, okay. So x equals to 2 we don't have inside the dictionary, so that's why it is 0. I'm going to add, because I'm going to add this, so it will become 1, okay. So here after comma we need to store 2 with count 1, okay. Now again I'm going to take 2, x equals to 2, okay. This element, this is 2. Again I'm going to take 2 here, okay. And previously I have its count 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2 colon 1, 1 colon 1 and comma 2 colon 1 inside the dictionary, okay. Now again I'm going to check, is there any x equals to 2 present here inside this? Here, yes, present, okay. Then it will become 1, and I'm going to add this one, okay. So it will become 2. So here after adding 2 again inside the d, its count will become 2, like this, okay. Similarly you can count for 3, okay, and you can count for 3 also, okay. You need to take again x equals to 3 here, okay. And you can check it. Initially we don't have any 3 here inside this dictionary, okay. So you need to write 0 plus 1. So first, this is the first count of 3, okay. So here you need to add 3 comma, oh, 3 colon 1, its count is 1. Now again you can add x equals to 3. So here again I added 1 3 here, so its count will become 2. And again I have x equals to 3, now its count will become 3. Okay, so this is our count of dictionary. So it is giving none. Frequency without counter. Let me check. Okay, I got 0 because I haven't written anything here. Okay, I forget to return. So here I'm going to return D dictionary. Sorry guys, I forget this thing. Okay, so I got our output 1 colon 1 comma 2 colon 2. Count of 1 is 1 and count of 2 is 2 and count of 3 is 3. Okay, this is the x, means means we have these things x equals to 1 2 3, and this is the values. Okay, now we are going to find out even number from list. Okay, so here I'm going to define one function even only, because I'm going to find out only even number. Okay, here I'm going to pass lst, that is list. I'm going to use print, and here this is the function calling, and inside this I'm going to pass list. Here 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 6. Okay, this is the function calling, and here this is the list. I already passed this list here. Okay, list equals to 1 2 3 4 6. And just return one line, so that is return x for x in lst if x divided by 2 and we got remainder equals to 0, then it is the even number. Okay, so here you can see I am going to take x equals to 1. Okay, x for x in LST if x divided by 2. So here I am going to take x equals to 1 in this line. You can check here. Okay, x equals to 1. Then you need to divide x by 2. Okay, then we don't get any reminder equals to 0, so this condition is false, we need to escape. Okay, now again I'm going to check with x equals to 2, so x divided by 2, so I got reminder 0 while dividing it. Okay, so this condition is true, so I need to add 2 here. Okay, now again I'm going to check with 3 x equals to 3, so 3 is divided by 2 and got reminder 0. No, this condition is also false, then we can escape. Okay, again we need to take 4, so 4 divided by 2. Okay, in this condition, and we got 0 reminder. Yes, yes, so we need to add 2 comma 4. Previously I already have 2 here, and now I added 4. Now I am going to take 6. Okay, so 6 is divided by 2 and got 0 reminder. Yes, yes, this condition is true. Okay, so this will give you 2 comma 4 comma 6, otherwise it will skip 1 that is not divided by 2 and got reminder 0. Okay, so for x equals to 1 2 3 4 5, you need to take from here. Okay, this is the list. So here you can see for x in list. Okay, so these are the x's: x equals to 1, x equals to 3, x equals to 4, x equals to 6. Okay, if x divided by 2 is equals to 0, then we need to divide x by 2, and if we got 0 reminder, then it is even, otherwise it will odd. Okay, so here I have three numbers who is even number only. Okay, now you can see remove HTML tags. Okay, so we have input like this: A, A, B, and C. Okay, and here they use break B tag. Okay, this is a open tag and this is a closing tag. Okay, so here I want to remove this tag. So here you can see out. This is the function name strip HTML, and this is the you can see here as equals to these things. Okay, and this is the function calling strip html. Okay, so this is the one variable out equals to empty string. Okay, initially we have inside equals to false. Okay, so we are going to take a ch equals to a, so ch in S. So ch equals to a. So I'm going to take ch equals to a. Ch equals to a. Okay, this a. Here you can see I'm going to take ch equals to 0. This is the inside the tag. No, this is the outside. Okay, this is not inside the tag. Okay, so we need to keep a. Here we need to check this ch equals to a is inside the tag. See if ch equals to inside the tag. No. Okay, so we need to skip this condition. Okay, this. Now again we check ch is outside the tag. No, this condition is also false. Okay, so if both of these condition is fail, okay, then we need to write elif not inside. Okay, because a is not inside, then it return only add. Out it add this a. Okay, so out will out. Now out have a here. Now we need to take this parameter. Sorry, this is this less than. Okay, so here ch equals to this again. Okay, we need to check if ch equals to this, then inside will become true. Here, here inside will become true. Inside tag s, this is true. Okay, so we can't add this. Okay, okay, we just add not inside the item. Okay, so here after this we need to check with b. So I need to skip b because it is inside the tag. Okay, previously we have a. Again we can check with this one. Okay, so this is also outside the tag. This will become false. Okay, here I already wrote this exit tag, and this is not an inside the tag, so we don't need to add. So we are just going to remove these less than or greater than. Okay, so here after this I have b. Okay, we need to check this b if ch equals to b is present. I mean fulfill this condition. No, it will fulfill this condition. No, then we need to add b after a, so it will become ab like this here. Okay, again we need to check same thing for this. Okay, again I'm going to check this condition for c. Okay, so I got only this cleaning. I remove html tag and I got this in output as equals to abc. Okay, now you can also use regex method. Okay, so import re, and this is the function name, and return re sub. Okay, this is the inbuilt regex method. Okay, this module provide a regular regular expression matching the operations similar to those found in Perl. It support both Advit and Unicode string. Okay, so here you can see regular expression can contain both special and ordinary character. Most ordinary character like A, B from capital A to A and or zero or the simplest regular expression. Okay, so these are the special characters. These are the. Okay, here you can see plus double quotes, greater than, less than. Okay, so it will remove here re dot sub here in single quotes, less than dot asterisk question mark greater than. Okay, and here remove with this. Okay, and here I'm going to pass this string, I mean this. Okay, after after I rerun this. Okay, so I got abc in output. Okay, so here after this I'm going to solve function return another function. Okay, so we are going to return multiple functions here. Okay, so first of all I'm going to define one function df choose. This is the function name. Okay, here I'm going to pass op as a parameter. Okay, I'm going to define one function for add. I'm going to add two parameters here, a comma b. Okay, then I need to return what? Return a plus b. Okay, that we can add. Again, again I'm going to define one function that is multiply. Mul multiply, and here I'm going to pass a comma b. and return A into B. And here return add. Okay, so these are the two functions inside the this function choose. We can choose one function that we want to add two elements, and here we want to multiply two elements, that is A and B. Okay, so return add if operation equals to add. Okay, else it will return multiply mul. Okay, so here you can see, oh, I have only OP, not OPS. Okay, so this is the OP. Okay, inside OP I have two function. Inside this function choose, I have two function. Okay, so it will return add if operation equals to add these things. Okay, otherwise it will return multiply. Okay, so f equals to choose this function, and here I'm going to add, and here I'm going to pass f, and a equals to 2 and b equals to 3. So I got output 5. Okay, and you this is the I already have this description. F is equals to choose add. So call the function, call choose with add. Okay, so here I'm going to call this function with add. Operation equals to add, I already wrote this condition here. Okay, okay, now inside the choose this function I have two function. Okay, but operation equals to add, then it will return add. Otherwise operation equals to mul, then it will multiply. Okay, f now reference add av function. Okay, you can say this is the object. Okay, f is the function that take two arguments and add. Okay, so these are the two arguments. Okay, f call the add function with a equals to 2 and b equals to 3 here, and return a plus b. Okay, this one, and compute result 2 plus 3 is equals to 5 and print 5 here. So I got 5 in there. Now custom sum. This is my last question. I'm going to define one function, my sum. Here I'm going to define iterable. I'm going to pass any parameter here, but as of now I'm going to pass in my function iterable. Iterable is a parameter, and here I'm giving this is the function name. Okay, and these are the iterable 1 2 3 4 in the list. Okay, now I am going to write one variable, that is total equals to 0, and here I'm going to use loop for x in iterable columns, and total equals to total plus x. Okay, now return total. Okay, so I got 10 here. So we are just going to calculate some of these number iterables. Okay, so here initially we have total equals to 0. Now I am going to take one by one. X equals to 1. Oh, x equals to 1 here. Okay, you can see here I have x equals to 1. So before total we have 0. Here you can see total equals to 0. Now I am going to add in total. So previously I had total equals to 0. Now I am going to add 1. Okay, so it will become 1. Okay, inside the total after it will become 1 here. Okay, now again I'm going to take x equals to 2 here. X equals to 2. Okay, so previously total is equals to 1, so I am going to add 2. Sorry, I have 1, total equals to now 1. Now I am going to add this 2, so it will become 3. So here I have 3. Okay, now you can take x equals to 3, this one. Okay, now previously we have total equals to 3 they here, and I'm going to add again this 3. So 3 will become 3 plus 3 will become 6. Okay, again I'm going to take x equals to 4. Okay, so previously I have 6, total equals to, then I'm going to add this 4 plus 6, then it will become 10. So I got 10 in my output. Okay, I have finished function. Now I am going to solve what? I am going to solve lambda function, okay? This one. So here I am going to stop my sharing, sharing screen.